It's Jets Weekly with your host, Connor Hrabchak.
Hello everyone and welcome into another edition of Winnipeg Jets Weekly. My name is Connor Hrabchak. On today's episode, we've got a lot to talk about. 4 games, including the Winnipeg Jets on a 3-game losing streak going into next week. And we're at the midway point of the season as the Winnipeg Jets have played 41 games. So we'll talk a little bit bigger picture as well later on. And of course, hand out the awards, the hardest working Jet and 3 stars of the week. But let's start back on Monday night. The Jets' only win of the week, 3-0 over the Nashville Predators. So the Winnipeg Jets' only win of the week came on Monday, Amazon Prime Hockey against the Nashville Predators, a 3-0 win. Connor Hrabchak adding to his Vezina Hart Trophy campaign, whichever one you want to pick, with yet another shutout in this game. And the Jets played great in front of him. 3.7 expected goals to 2 in the Jets' favor, scoring chances 33-25 in the Jets' favor as well. And the power play. Gabriel Vilardi scored twice on the power play in the third period to give the Jets a 3-0 lead at the time. And the first goal of the game went to Dylan DeMello, who scored his first goal of the season. The assists on that play, Morgan Barron and Logan Stanley. So an unlikely goal there that opened the scoring, and then 2 very likely goals as Gabriel Vilardi has been dynamite on the power play all season long, scoring twice to give the Jets a 3-0 win. Connor Hrabchak, a 22-save shutout, his 5th of the season. That brings us to New Year's Eve, where the Winnipeg Jets had a rare road game against the Colorado Avalanche and dropped this one 5-2, and the score makes it look a lot worse than it was. This was a 3-2 game with 2 empty net goals for the Colorado Avalanche, but the stats actually tell the story of a pretty even game. 2.6 expected goals to 2.5 in the Jets' favor, and this game obviously ended in a 5-2 win for Colorado, but a 3-2 game late. This game was pretty even throughout. 38-22 the shots on goal, so Colorado did a great job getting in lanes, blocking shots, making things difficult on the Jets when they got those chances, and then the shot attempts, Colorado dominated that as well, 67-52. One note on this game and the next game I'm going to talk about is special teams were not much of a factor for the Winnipeg Jets. 0 for 1, the penalty kill stepped up in this game on the only opportunity of the entire game as the Jets didn't draw a single penalty against the Colorado Avalanche. They are now 1-1 on the season. These two teams are against one another. The Jets earlier in the season beat them 1-0 inside Canada Life Center, and these two teams will do battle once again next week on Saturday night in Winnipeg once again. But this one, the Avs got the better of the Jets 5-2 on New Year's Eve. And that brings us to Thursday night, where the Winnipeg Jets began an 8-game homestand with a 4-3 overtime loss to the Anaheim Ducks, so they did walk away with a point in this game, but the stats behind me here provide a pretty good argument that the Jets deserved the extra point in this one as well. The shots 30-24, the expected goals 3.2 to 1.4 in the Jets' favor, so a great defensive performance even though they allowed 4 goals, and the shot attempts 73-45. The Jets had possession of the puck for the majority of this game, were throwing a ton of pucks on net, but it wasn't enough as Troy Terry gave the Ducks the win 4-3 in overtime as the Jets kicked off an 8-game homestand. And that brings us to Saturday night, where the Winnipeg Jets welcomed in an Original 6 opponent, the Detroit Red Wings, on Hockey Night in Canada, but fell short 4-2 in regulation for this one. The expected goals pretty even, 3.5 to 3.7 in Detroit's favor. The shots on goal 29-23 in Detroit's favor as well. The high danger chances were actually 18-8 in Winnipeg's favor, but where the Jets got burned in this game was the special teams, and this is not something that we could have said many times this season, but 0 for 2 on the power play, and Detroit goes 2 for 3 with the man advantage. Ultimately, the difference in this one, Detroit winning 4-2. The special teams, they were up 2 goals in this game, and the Jets, not often do they lose the special teams battle, but they did on this night and wasted a relatively good game otherwise. So before we get into the awards portion of this episode, let's quickly take a look at the Winnipeg Jets season so far at the exact halfway point. Through 41 games, they are leading the Central Division ahead of the Minnesota Wild, and they're second in the NHL in points behind only the Vegas Golden Knights, the Jets with 56 points, Vegas with 57 with 2 less games played at this moment. But some of the major stats behind me here tell the story that the Jets are an elite team. Their 5-on-5 goals percentage, their goal share, last year was first in the NHL at 59%. This year, it's second in the NHL at 57%. So they have maintained that elite 5-on-5 goal share status while adding a dynamic power play. Last year, they were 22nd in the NHL in power play percentage. This year, they're all the way up to first at 31.5%. tons of credit goes to Davis Payne, the power play coach, for revitalizing that unit and making them the best power play in the NHL in the first half of the season. Team goaltending in goals saved above expected, they have 15. That is third best in the NHL. Their expected goals for per 60 at 5-on-5, 2.48. That's 13th best in the league. And then expected goals against per 60 at 5-on-5, 10th at 2.29. So those expected numbers, you'd like to see the Jets generate a little bit more offense and maybe allow less. But when you have the best power play in the league and your 5-on-5 goal share is second best in the NHL, those are sustainable numbers through the first half of this season as the Jets continue to be one of the best teams in the NHL. Now it's time to hand out the hardest working Jet and 3 stars of the week awards. But before we do that, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you hit the like button down below, hit that subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss Winnipeg Jets Weekly every single Monday morning, breaking down the week that was for the Winnipeg Jets and previewing the upcoming week. Let's get into the awards.
The hardest working Jet.
My hardest working Jet of the week is Neil Pionk, and ever since Dylan Sandberg's injury, his partners have been in flux on that second pairing, but the one constant has been him, and furthermore, in the Detroit game, Colin Miller was forced to leave after taking a puck to the throat. Scott O'Neill said he'd be reevaluated in the coming days, but Neil Pionk, along with the entire defense corps, was relied upon for more minutes, more responsibility, and they responded. Neil Pionk, ever since Dylan Sandberg's injury, has been relied upon to carry that second pair, and he did that and more this past week. For that, he's my hardest working Jet of the week.
And now, the Jets Weekly 3 stars of the week.
My third star of the week is Alex Iafallo, and ever since Mason Appleton was ruled week to week with an injury, according to Scott O'Neill, Alex Iafallo has moved up to that third line alongside Nino Niederreiter and Adam Lowry, or Vladislav Nemeskov, as we saw in the latest game. And since he moved up, he has been producing offensively. He had a goal and an assist in the Anaheim game, scored a goal late in the third period to put the Jets up 3-2, but then the Ducks tied it late before winning it in overtime. Alex Iafallo stepping up into that third line, doesn't change his play style, and continues to produce a little bit more offensively. He's my third star of the week. My second star of the week is Josh Morrissey. He had a goal for the Jets on Saturday night against the Detroit Red Wings, and for my money was easily their best skater in that game, and had 2 assists on the Thursday night game against the Anaheim Ducks. And with all the injuries on the back end, more and more responsibility continues to be placed on Morrissey's shoulders, and he continues to respond. He's my second star of the week. My first star of the week is Jets forward Gabriel Vilardi. He had the monster 2-goal performance against the Nashville Predators on Monday night, followed that up with a goal on Tuesday night against the Avs, and then set up a beauty of a goal on Thursday against the Anaheim Ducks. He has been on an absolute tear over the last month of play. In his last 15 games, he's got 9 goals and 10 assists for 19 points since December 5th. Those 9 goals in that time are 6th best in the NHL, and 19 points since December 5th. That is the 11th best mark in the NHL over that time. So Gabe Vilardi hitting his stride here at the midway point of the season with 18 goals, 18 assists, and 36 points through the season so far. He's been one of the Jets' best forwards on that top line. He's my first star of the week. Now let's quickly take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Winnipeg Jets as they continue their monster 8-game homestand, starting on Tuesday night against the Nashville Predators, who they just beat last week 3-0. Then Friday night, they'll take on the LA Kings in the first of a home back-to-back before a rematch with the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday night. That should be a great game inside Canada Life Center. And then early next week, they'll take on the Vancouver Canucks on Tuesday night, once again inside Canada Life Center. I'll be back next Monday for the next edition of Winnipeg Jets Weekly, breaking down the 3 games against the Preds, Kings, and Avalanche, looking ahead to the next week as well. That's going to do it for this edition of Winnipeg Jets Weekly. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button down below, hit that subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss Winnipeg Jets Weekly every single Monday morning. Enjoy the games this week. Get down to the rink if you can. Lots of games at Canada Life Center, and I'll be back next Monday breaking it all down and previewing the upcoming week. Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy the games, and I'll see you next Monday.